r/AskReddit. If there was one movie you could completely delete from reality, what would it be? The live-action Avatar: The Last Airbender. This was the movie I had in mind when I was writing this question. I just finished the TV series and the movie is terrible. Did you hear about the remake that Netflix is making? I swear, the creators can't catch a break. Well, I've got good news. The creators can catch a break now because they left the project. Wait, that's bad news. I would remove the movie The Mandela Effect because it would cause mass confusion and lead on to the topic of the Mandela Effect and people would go insane. Seriously. Had this conversation with my boyfriend right after we watched it. I told him I wouldn't be surprised if they erased this movie soon just to duck with people. And if I had anything to do with it, I totally would as well. Internet commentator Queet on YouTube filmed two almost identical videos about the Mandela Effect, and at one point he re-uploaded one and deleted the old video, and it was one of my favorite things to happen. The live-action Dragon Ball movie, it's just sad. Didn't know one existed, probably for a reason. Edit, oh god. That bad. I started watching it, and it was so bad I regret everything. Imagine Dragon Ball if Goku was a generic D-list high school movie character. This is the entire film. Fun fact, that movie was so horrendously bad that it encouraged Akira Toriyama, creator of the Dragon Ball series, to come out of retirement. Then he produced two movies, Dragon Ball Z, Battle of Gods and Dragon Ball Z, Resurrection F, both of which were adapted into the anime series Dragon Ball Super. Artemis Fowl. There are enough issues with the film to make even a casual watcher hate it, forget about those who read the books. They went beyond screwing up. I knew it was going to be bad as soon as I saw Artemis surfing. Dude doesn't even have the dexterity to successfully climb a ladder and you have him surfing. Just no. I've watched some pretty bad movies and even found enjoyment in them either by way of comedy or dramatic satisfaction. This is the only movie I have ever, in my entire life, stopped less than 15 minutes in because it was just too bad. I was already disgusted Artemis surfing and hoverboarding like some normal, outdoorsy kid, but it just kept getting worse. Eragon. One of the most disappointing movies of my lifetime. I've seen this answer so often I have fortunately avoiding seeing that movie. If you've read the books, don't, just don't. If you've never touched the books before, it's okay. Doesn't even matter, I don't think. I watched with a friend who hadn't read it, and she had no idea what was going on most of the time. The fourth Harry Potter, so people will wonder why they made all the movies, but just skip the fourth. Everyone just scratching their heads wondering why Voldemort is suddenly back when last they heard he was a zit on the back of some professor's melon. It's funny you say that. I watched the movies previously around their release dates and decided it was time to give them a rewatch. So a couple weeks ago, I marathoned all the movies and upon starting Goblet of Fire, discovered that I had, in fact, never seen Goblet of Fire. Boy did that fill in some gaps about how Voldemort was suddenly back in the Order of the Phoenix. The Fahrenheit 451 movie, just for the irony. They've all been pretty poor representations of the book as well. That is one of my all-time favorite books, and I'm scared to watch the movie because I don't want to see the story get butchered. Oh, they butchered it, alright. Cats. I don't know what the director was thinking with Cats. Everyone will rue the day they stop the release of the butthole cut. Muahaha. I had a great time with Cats. I got more high than I've ever been before and went with a friend. Theater was almost completely empty. Most people were in their 20s, a few even showed up in costume. We were all on some kind of drug. There were also two families with young kids, who I'm sure felt out of place. The Emoji Movie. Hey, let's have the nicest and kindest actor that ever existed play a literal piece of shit. Imagine going from starring in Logan to the Emoji Movie in the span of a few months. And then back to Star Trek 3 years later. The Dark Tower. Stephen King fans waited years and years and years for this movie, only for a 90-minute bullshit parade that didn't scratch the surface of the story. About the biggest Dark Tower fan there is, have read the books numerous times. I have tattoos inspired from the books. I saw the previews and didn't go see it. Once I saw the reviews from the real fans, it was never even a question to see it. I got one of my friends into the series, and when the first whispers of production were circulating, he called me up all excited. I was like, man, I've been down this road before. If the movie gets made, it's just going to be a piece of shit. There's too much book for a movie. I do feel like it could be given a decent treatment as a TV series, especially since the source material is finished, and we don't have to worry about showrunners ducking the last 2 seasons all the way up. Honestly, Eragon is probably the winner in my mind. It's a 4-part book series that could have made fantastic movies, but whoever made the first movie had apparently never read the books, because they made some seriously critical errors that made a second book narratively impossible. Yeah, they should just friggin' redo that. Loads of potential. I was talking to a friend about this, and I liked her idea. She thought Eragon would be cool as a series, like how Game of Thrones was made. The author, Christopher Paolini, has said many times on Twitter that he would love to do a television series or even any live-action adaptation project again. Since Disney bought Fox and the rights to Eragon, maybe we will see something of the sorts someday. I really hope so, and if the author actually gets consulted and works on the project, it'd have immense potential. The third and fourth Mummy. Let The Mummy Returns be the gold standard for sequels. The Tom Cruise Mummy is low-key one of my favorite movies. It's just so bad that it's entertaining. At the end, Tom's best friend says, "Thanks for bringing me back from the dead man," with the least amount of effort possible, and it's perfectly representative of the whole movie. What a glorious piece of shit. Can I delete season 8 of Game of Thrones instead? Can we delete season 7 as well? Just delete everything from season 5. Season 6 was nice in my honest opinion. Battle of Bastards and Cersei trial were great moments. Battle of the Bastards and the wildfire explosion were 2 of the greatest moments in television. It's just a shame they exist in the disgusting shadow of season 8. Birth of a Nation. It sparked violence against the black community and kickstarted a new surge in interest in the KKK. Edit. The KKK existed, yes, but it was a smaller, regional organization. The film was propaganda when it was the first film screened, and marketed widely as such. At the White House at Wilson's request, people saw it as him giving it the rubber stamp of approval, almost an endorsement for the film's portrayal of black men as an intelligent and predatory. William J. Simmons took the opportunity of the film's screenings to garner visibility for the KKK and held a huge cross burning, took out ads for KKK membership alongside ads for the film, and went to screenings with his Klansmen in full regalia. They sold costumes, movie ushers wore white sheets, and they handed out KKK brochures at screenings. It was used as a recruitment tool and can be directly credited as a reason the KKK has a rebirthing of its own. Kissing Booth. No Kissing Booth, and no Kissing Booth 2. Duck that movie. I love how the main character has no aspirations of her own. It's especially evident in the second movie, when she is forced to choose between the school her boyfriend goes to or the school her best friend wants to go to. Like, what about the school you want to go to? And she somehow gets accepted to ducking Harvard. That's absurd. Any even moderately competitive school makes you fill out so many essays and personal statements that there's pretty much no way to even get past the application process unless you're quite serious about going there. Presumably by design. Son of the Mask. That movie is so bad that even though I know for a fact that I have definitely seen it, I do not recall one single detail of it. I completely blocked it from memory. Netflix's Death Note. I still don't get how it shows up under the horror genre on Netflix. It's mostly a comedy. It's like they looked at the anime/manga and thought, hey, they kids love the spooky aspect and that scary looking dude. Forget the cat and mouse game. Light has to be a relatable teen. He can't be smart or a sociopath. He has to be clumsy and relatable. Oh, and L, we'll keep him the same, but he's more in your face rather than hands off. A Serbian film. The Wikipedia entry summary is something I wish I can delete from my mind. It's shocking for shock value. It's poorly done, to be honest, and not nearly as bad as it sounds. It's amateurish. If it had been made by the right people, it would have been the most macabre film ever, but it wasn't. Go watch Irreversible if you really want to duck yourself up. The Matrix, so we can keep people in the dark. It almost ruined our entire project. You almost leaked confidential information, comrade. You know what happens now. It isn't a movie per se, but the 13 Reasons Why show. Once the scene with the suicide happened, I think it was within the first few episodes, I got an email from the APA letting all therapists know that suicide rates and attempts spiked. Not only for attempts, but successful attempts as well. Since then I've met more clients, I'd like to admit, that essentially learned how to be successful with suicide. Some people argue it opened up a conversation about suicide and how it isn't as rare as people would like to believe, but I'd argue that you don't open a conversation about domestic violence by showing someone a video of brutally beating their partner. Goodness, yes, that show was horrible. The whole using suicide as revenge thing didn't sit right with me either. A lot of people would have been better off and alive had that show never been made. Airplane Mode by Logan Paul, or the Minecraft movie, if it comes out. I love Minecraft, but I think a Minecraft movie would make no sense and just be cringy. Is 2020 a movie? I hear the sequel is going to suck too. Actually, it's the last episode in the series.